Our next counselor coming in will be Bruce Vogel. And Bruce is a counselor at large. Hello, Bruce. Hello, counselor. How are you?
Good morning, Mary. How are you this morning?
Good. So we were talking about earlier about your term. Now, is this your third term or?
Right. So I'm just ending my 6th year at large. Yep.
Wow. So that's quite a while.
Well, and then 2 terms as the Ward 5 counselor, and before that, as we discussed earlier, you're the reason I'm sitting here, Mary.
Yes, I remember. That was 20 years ago.
1999. You appointed me to the Youth Commission.
I started a Youth Commission first time in Newburyport, and yes, you were one of the members and did a good job.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And then he moved on to bigger and higher officer.
More complicated, shall we say.
Yes. No, I know there are a lot of outstanding issues out there, and I'm sure they're going to follow you into the next term. So, and you have one unique thing. You're a businessman downtown, so you must have your finger on the pulse of the city. I mean, basically, you probably, because people love to tell you what they like and what they don't like and whatever. So many changes have taken place in the city.
Between those 3 businesses, I call it triangulation, right? If you look at the way that they're set up, and I walk every single day. Well, I shouldn't say every single day. It's a bit of an exaggeration, but just about every single day, I walk between the 3 stores, and then I include the bank in there, and so on and so forth. And it's fun walking through town because there's people that are from across the street. Hey, Bruce, or whatever it might be, and then. You're right. I get the pulse. I have the pulse of the town. Aside from the people that come in that I see across the counter, especially at the roasters, I see tons of people. I talk to all the shop owners. I have a good feel. And interestingly enough, I was thinking about this morning. At the roasters, not only do I see Newburyport people, but I see people from other communities, and that input and their view of Newburyport is also very interesting, and their take on it.
Right. And it's always nice no matter where you go. I mean, even when I was in Ireland, when you say Newburyport, people have heard of it.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, that's a beautiful place. Or they were over here working on a visa, and they went to Newburyport, and they just thought...
I love having foreigners in town. Well, not foreigners. I love having visitors in town, because if I see people that are looking around and maybe a little bit... maybe looking for something or looking a little confused, I act as the ambassador, and I go, hey, do you need a little bit of help? Can I help you find where you're going? It's fun.
Oh yeah, no, that's always nice, and you can always tell them because they do have this lost look on them, but they're also very impressed by it. So, which is another. The progress has been tremendous, but do you see more positive things happening? And how do we maintain the integrity of our historic small town feeling, as you said, knowing everybody and
Oh my word! I think that's one of the things that just presses on me day and night. If we're not careful, we're going to become a downtown of eateries and real estate offices. We have got to do something to revitalize our shopping downtown. We need to do something about economic development across the community, not just downtown, but also we need to reach out and bring businesses into the business park. We need to work on it. And one of the things that I would really like to do in the next session, and I've talked with the mayor about this, is bring on a position of an economic development director. Right now it's in the planning office, but bring it out of that and bring it into its own entity and work hard to see what we can do about revitalizing and bringing business back down. This is a very slow summer. This was a slow summer.
It was
very
even
slow.
Yankee Homecoming seemed to be.
So we need to find out what other communities are doing. We need to find out what the appeal is, what we can do to bring it in, bring more visitors to our town. We need to identify ourselves as a destination, and in terms of and work on that historic piece. I mean, George Washington slept in the in the church on Federal in the South Church.
Well, we have businesses that come in, but unfortunately they don't stay very long. But again, we need the right kind of businesses, and that's what people always say to me. Remember years ago when we had clothing stores that were affordable and things like that, and a lot of these stores open up, but they're not everyone, the residents living here, can afford to shop them.
When I ran for Ward 5 councilor my very first year, I knocked on a door and was invited in, and the woman that was there had been living in Newburyport her whole life. She says, "I'll vote for you if you put a grocery store back downtown." Mm-hmm. And I don't think that's a bad idea.
That
right?
little store was
Yeah. I mean, right now, I think last year, if I have my statistic correct, retail sales dropped 50% across the country. Whereas on the other hand, online sales increased 300%.
Well, that's the other problem you're dealing with is everyone now is buying online. I have never bought anything online, but that's, for people who are working.
Yep.
Like my daughter does, and she says, when you're working, you have kids and stuff, that's the easy way to do Christmas shopping and all of that stuff.
Yeah,
So.
my daughter does the same. She and her husband, they Christmas shop online, and their groceries are delivered to their door.
Oh, wow. So that's kind of hard for small businesses.
It's a challenge, and it's hard for a small community, and we really need to work hard on selling our community and revitalizing the commerce.
Yeah. Well, that's a good idea and a good plan to go on. And so, what would your vision be down the line then for Newburyport? I mean, do you? Well, you have a positive view of it, hopefully, because you're there, and people do love it, and they will continue to come.
I think some of the things like so the Custom House events, the bringing the big ships in, and I think we just really need to work on all the positives that we have going, and the water being the big one. I mean, obviously,
right.
And all of our events. I'd like to see Yankee Homecoming tweaked a little bit and kind of brought back to more the arts and more the hometown feel. It's a little discouraging to see all the sort of the commerce piece out there. And then we also have to be really careful about how the on-street artists and so on and so forth affect our brick and mortar. I mean, I get this all the time, hear this from the brick and mortar people all the time. There has to be a balance as to what comes in and what's being sold. Wow.
Well, it's true, but that I think that'll be an ongoing thing. And as I said,
Yeah, so we have 30 seconds left.
Wow, 30 seconds. Well, I'll leave it with you, Counselor. What would you like to say?
Well, I think the one thing that I'd like to just add to this
I think you made a lot of good points.
Well, thank you. One of the things I'd like to encourage is everybody get out to vote, and when they get out to vote, and as they're looking to who to vote for. One of the things that's evolved over this course of time is please take a look at the person that you're voting for, and not necessarily just what they say about the issues. Issues come and go, and issues can be worked on, and so on and so forth. But take a look at who that person is and how they approach it.
Very good. Good advice.
Thank you kindly.
Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Councilor Vogel, Councilor at Large.